what's going on, guys? My name is Agent Psycho, and this is going to be another comparison video comparing the M416 CQB and the M4A1 SOPMOD. Both of these guns have been heralded in the combat arms community as two of the best assault rifles in combat arms. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started on the comparison video. So to start things off, I'd like to quickly run down the list of statistics that on the M416 CQB and the M4A1 SOPMOD. So on the CQB, starting with the CQB, the damage is a 39, the portability is a 66, rate of fire is 74, accuracy is an 80, and recoil is a 63. And on the SOPMOD, if I can turn to it, the damage is a 40, the portability is a 66, the rate of fire is a 74, the accuracy is an 80, and the recoil is also 63. So statistically speaking, just going by statistics alone, the M4A1 SOPMOD barely beats out the M416 CQB in the damage compartment, or just in the damage department by 1 point. So if we're going off just pure statistics here, the M4A1 SOPMOD would be a better gun. But obviously you can't, define guns just by the statistics alone. You need to take in everything else into account. So that's what we're doing right now. So let's start with the pros on the M416 CQB first. The M416 CQB, the very first pro I can think of is that, it's NX standard. You can get it whenever you want as long as you have NX. And this is good because both of these guns are NX. It's not like the previous comparison video I did on the M416 and the M416 CQB, camo, where, one was an NX gun and one was a GP gun. We don't need to worry about that in this case because both the CQB and the SOPMOD are both NX guns, but obviously it's not that simple. As we'll probably get to later. So the M416 CQB is an NX standard, meaning that you can get it anytime you want. I know I've already repeated that, but in any case, it is available for, I don't know if the one-day sales is still there for the M416 CQB specifically, but it is now for, it has always been available for permanent purchase at 24,900 NX. You can get it permanent whenever you want. That's one of the good things about the M416 CQB, because obviously it's one of the most popular guns in combat arms, especially in the NX, like in the NX department, and Nexon has realized this. In order to capitalize on their sales, they have never removed the permanent duration purchase option for the CQB, so that's why it's still there. And yeah, the M416 CQB, other pros that I can think of right off the bat is that the reload speed, I want to say the reload speed is faster overall than it is on the SOPMOD. If the SOPMOD and the CQB didn't have any extended mags, or magazine modifications, I feel like the CQB would be barely faster, but not that noticeable. But once you start putting extended mag ones on the CQB and the SOPMOD, I feel that the CQB's reload speed is a lot faster than the M4A1 SOPMODs. I don't know what it is, but that just seems to be the case. Other than that, the CQB doesn't really have any statistical advantages over the SOPMOD. In fact, it's the other way around. But in any case, other than that, I don't really know what else the CQB has in terms of pros over the SOPMOD. So yeah. Moving along, the SOPMOD. Let's talk about the pros on the SOPMOD this time. Actually, I do have a few pros. Never mind. So the SOPMOD. Do keep in mind that both the SOPMOD and the CQB both have integrated ITEC scopes, or sights, I should say, because some of you guys are really anal about. Oh no, that's not a scope. That's a sight. So yeah, they both got ITEC sights. And yeah, other than that, the M4A1 SOPMOD, the statistical pro that the SOPMOD offers over the CQB is that it has a 1 point increase advantage in damage, rhymes, over the CQB. So obviously it's gonna just going by sheer statistics alone, it has higher damage. So there you go. On top of that, it has a very, very nice integrated silencer that is unique only to the SOPMOD. No other gun has the silencer in terms of how it sounds and how it performs. So I mean, I guess you could argue, yeah, there are other silencers that are identical in how it performs, but there's no other silencer that sounds like the SOPMOD silencer. So it's very nice. It's a very nice pew pew, quiet pew 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 noise. So people get all obsessed about going pew 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 pew. Anyways, and yeah, it's got a very nice camo on top of that. I don't know if that's considered a pro, but you know, some people really like the cosmetics on their guns, so can't ignore that now, can we? So other than that, that should be all the pros that the SOPMOD has over the CQB. Now let's talk about both of these. Let's just straight out compare these two guns. First of all, the CQB, it would be better because the not only is it more accessible. Like the SOPMOD is an NX rare. It's only appeared in the Mist End before before Nexon started releasing all these alphabetical cases. It was released in the Echo case, and it released in the Quebec case, and that's it. So obviously, the SOPMOD is very rare. So yeah, if it was an X standard, God help us all. But Nexon has released the SOPMOD for 90-day special 90-day sales before, and we'll see if they do it again. But other than that, if they don't do that anytime soon, you won't really be seeing very many SOPMODs unless you come across someone who's already renewed it for like however many days. So yeah, the SOPMOD is just very rare. You just don't have a chance. You don't know who's gonna, use this. Like the CQB is so popular and so readily accessible because it's such a good gun that you can definitely expect at least one person to be using it every single game you come into, and it's kind of been notorious for being so easy to use. People are like, oh, M416 CQB nub, but in any case, that's besides the point. The SOPMOD is just not very accessible, and that's why the CQB is better in that respect. Also, another thing that I would like to point out is that even though the statistics indicate that the SOPMOD is technically speaking, more powerful than the CQB, I honestly feel that the CQB is stronger than the SOPMOD. There could be a couple reasons for this. One, the CQB has the CQB doesn't have a silencer, and the SOPMOD does. Silencer typically make guns weaker, and on the description of the SOPMOD, it even says that the silencer comes with a reduced damage reduction. If you guys pay attention to the statistics on the silencers that they sell in the GP modification shop, you'll know that all the silencers have a 10% damage penalty on whatever gun they've been attached to, and that's why I don't really use silencers, because I want all the damage that I can get, and I feel like I'm selling out my gun if I reduce the damage by any amount. So that's why I want to keep all the damage I can get. With the M4A1 SOPMOD, it doesn't reduce as much, but the reduction is still there. That's the key. The reduction is still there. That means that the M4A1 SOPMOD isn't actually doing 40 damage. It might be doing 38 damage or 39 damage. We don't know. But for sure, it's not doing 40 damage straight up. That's why I feel that the M4A1 SOPMOD is weaker than the CQB, because of that silencer and the placebo effect of the muzzle noises. Like the SOPMOD, it's got an awesome firing noise. I love it. I can't argue with that, or I hope none of you guys do. But the thing about it is that it makes the SOPMOD sound weaker than it actually is, and psychological processing is still important in whatever thing you do. If you feel that a gun is weak, it'll probably perform weak in reality for you. If the gun sounds strong, it'll probably do really well for you. It'll probably put people down really quickly because it has high damage, and because you think it has high damage. I don't know. I'm no researcher. I'm no cognitive developer or something like that. I don't know what they're called really, but the point is that most likely, for me anyway, I feel that the M4A1 SOPMOD feels weaker than it actually is, or maybe it is really as weak as I think it is. But the thing is that the silencers, the firing noise on the SOPMOD, and the fact that the silencer still reduces the amount of damage your SOPMOD does, as opposed to if it didn't have a silencer. Those two factors make me feel that the SOPMOD is just not as powerful as the CQB. And in terms of damage, I would go with the CQB. No kidding. The CQB, I honestly feel, is more powerful than the SOPMOD. You can disagree with me, but I've stated my reasons. So, there you go. That's why I feel that the CQB is better in terms of damage than the SOPMOD. So, there you go. Other than that, the portability is the same, rate of fire is the same, accuracy is the same. They both come with ITEX scopes. Now let's talk about the ITEX scopes, or the sights, god. The ITEX sights a little bit. The sights, they're both the same, so you don't really need to worry about, oh, which sight is different or whatnot. But, how much, because the sights are important because the recoil kickbacks are different per gun. And especially if you go full auto while aiming down sights. So here's the thing, the CQB has always been renowned for having very, very low recoil. You know, you can spray with the CQB, it'll still hit people at middle range easy. But, here's the thing, what if the SOPMOD, the M4A1 SOPMOD, has also been renowned for having extremely low recoil as well. So if you pit them against each other, what will happen? Here's my take on it. The CQB has a higher maximum hipfire spread. What that means, what I mean by that, is that when you go full auto while hipfiring, not aiming down your sights, but just while hipfiring, and you're spraying with a CQB and the M4A1 SOPMOD, the CQB has a higher max spread, especially when you strafe. When you strafe with the CQB, it gets pretty high. It gets pretty large, I should say. That's what she said. The max spread does get pretty big. With the SOPMOD, this thing doesn't even increase at all. Like, it's like, this thing has recoil? Like, really? Like, people always say, like, oh, the CQB, it's a no recoil gun. I just can't help but think like, okay, so clearly you haven't used a SOPMOD ever before in your life, have you? I feel sad for you. I feel bad for you. You should use it sometime. I really wish you do. But, that's what I feel that the CQB, or the SOPMOD offers over the CQB. The SOPMOD, hands down, has much better recoil. Much better. It's more noob friendly. I mean, back in the day when the CQB was, or in the first 2 years or so of the Combat Arms lifespan, the CQB was like no recoil all the way. Like, I remember, like, even while playing on my shitty ass laptop that I first played Combat Arms with, I bought the CQB for permanent just because it was a fucking no recoil gun. You could go full auto while aiming down sights with on the ITEC on the CQB, and it would just go straight up. Just straight up. That's it. But since then, they've obviously changed it, so it doesn't perform like that anymore. Nexon has kind of felt like, you know, that's overpowered kind of. So now when you go full out with the CQB while aiming out sights, it doesn't really go straight up anymore. It goes straight up and then bounces up left and right, and really high up. But with the M4A1 SOPMOD, it kind of does that, but it's a much more toned down kind of recoil kickback. It's more left to right than anything else. The CQBs, it goes left to right, but it goes mainly vertically up for the most part. The SOPMOD is just barely, it doesn't go as, it goes like what, maybe 75% as high, and it goes a little bit more left and right, but not really much more. So that's that for the recoil kickback. Just overall, and especially while tap firing. While tap firing, both of these guns are really very, very good, but I just feel like the SOPMOD, when you tap fire the SOPMOD, there is no recoil kickback. There is nothing. Like the CQB, you can see that there's recoil kickback for the CQB. The SOPMOD, like, really? There's recoil kickback for this thing? You can't help but think that whenever using the SOPMOD. But yeah, I would say that the SOPMOD kind of gives like a give and go with the CQB. It offers less damage, but in exchange, you've got a much better recoil pattern to work with. Much lower recoil spread, much lower recoil kickback. Because the CQB, even though people always say like, oh, it's a no recoil gun, it's still got a little bit of kickback. You know, the SOPMODs, it barely has any. In fact, it probably has none. I wouldn't be surprised if Nexon came out and said, oh, yeah, sorry guys, we just wanted to let you guys know that the SOPMOD has no recoil. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out and said something like that. But I know they're never gonna go do that. But other than that, yeah, its recoil is, I know I've been talking about the recoil for like the past 5 minutes or so, but I just can't emphasize it enough. The SOPMOD's recoil is so good. It's very, very noob friendly, even more so than the CQBs, I feel. And yeah, it's just, you can spray down corridor of oil rig and still expect to hit someone like easy. You know, that's just how good it is. But other than that, yeah, that's its recoil, I feel. The SOPMODs, once again, it has a lower recoil in exchange for lower damage as well. So that's just what I feel. One thing that I know is kind of trivial, but I feel it's still worthy of mentioning anyway, is the barrel length, like the overall gun length. The M4A1 SOPMOD is a very, very long gun. just like mine, but we'll get to that later in a second. The M4A1 SOPMOD, the overall barrel length is very, very long. Like, if you try camping around a corner, people will probably see you, but just by the fact that your gun barrel and silencer, like, the silencer is just fucking enormous, you know? The silencer will probably give your position away if you're not careful, and you're not aware of the fact that, you know, part of your gun is sticking out, and people are gonna see it and be like, oh, hey, there's someone camping around this corner, I think I'll just bunny hop around the corner and just spray him. That's probably what's gonna happen. Whereas with the CQB, the M416 CQB, you see the gun frame on that thing in third person? That thing's tiny. It's as small as like a fucking submachine gun. So you can easily camp with this thing. You know, camp around corners, camp in tight spots. You know, you can treat it as if it were a submachine gun in that, you know, it's a very compact gun. It's a very small gun, and you don't need to worry about, you know, part of its barrel or something like that sticking out over, like, beyond the edge. You don't need to worry about that as much. Whereas, while with the SOPMOD, you can't. This isn't necessarily like a sneaky assault rifle by any means. I mean, it's got that nice silencer with that nice firing noise, sure, but is it like, will it be enough to hide you when you're trying to take cover, and people can see that your silencer is sticking out of the other end of your cover, that is? I don't know, I feel that that's something to consider, because, you know, sometimes people die without knowing, you know, like, oh, they might be sitting around a corner, and suddenly all of a sudden someone jumps out and just sprays them down with lottos or something, and they start serving hacks and chams because they don't understand how that guy knew they were there, and maybe it was because part of their gun was sticking out of their cover, and thus the person who killed them probably saw that and decided to check it out, and seeing that there was someone there, decided to go ahead and kill you. I don't know. Is it important? I think so. But if none of the rest of you guys do, then of course, then just describe what I say. Let's see. Other than that, another advantage in quotes that the M416 CQB might have is the fact that you can have your choice of silencers. I don't know why you would be using silencers at all on, like, the CQB. I think I made it explicitly clear that I do not like the CQB with the silencer. I'm probably never going to be a fan of it, because the GP silencers are usually almost always screw up your recoil anyway if you try slapping one on. So I don't recommend using GP silencers anyway. But if you need to, if you want to, if you feel that you absolutely are, like, it's an absolute must, then go ahead and try it. I mean, at least with the CQB, you have a choice of silencers. Whereas with the SOPMOD, even though it comes with a really good integrated silencer, it's not an S3 silencer. It doesn't hide the muzzle flash. Whereas the S3 silencer hides the muzzle flash. So that in itself is like a pro and a con. So I don't know. Take it as you wish. Take it for what you will. And let's see. Overall performance, I would say it's a very tough decision, because both these guns are very, very good. They perform very well. They kill very well. They kill very quickly. On top of that, and yeah, that's just that their performance are just way too similar to really, really, you know. I don't know how to really compare their performances. I guess I could say that the CQB, I feel, is better for close range, because it's got that high upfront damage, whereas the SOPMOD doesn't have as much high of a damage as the CQB has. At least I think so. However, when it comes to long range and middle range, I feel that the M4A1 SOPMOD is better because of its more consistent damage profile and the fact that it has lower recoil, so you can tap fire much more quickly, much faster than you would with the CQB. That's just my honest opinion, so don't hate. So yeah, I suppose those are the damage profiles, so to speak, of the SOPMOD and the CQB. So comparing those two, got that done. Other than that, I really don't know what else much to say about the SOPMOD and the CQB. They both perform very, very well. But in the end, then I'm pretty sure this is what you guys have all been waiting for. You know, just tell us which one you would prefer anyway. In the end, I would have to go with the CQB, the M416 CQB. Just like how the or part of the reason why I say this is because just like how in the M416N and the M416 Camo comparison video, the M416 CQB is NX. You can access this very easily, whereas M4A1 SOPMOD it's an NX rare. You can't access this easily. In fact, we know if you don't have it right now, you don't know when the next time you'll ever see an M4A1 SOPMOD be actually released. You know, either through a case or through like a separate, like a special limited time 90-day weapon sale, like NX rare weapon sale or something like that. You know, so I don't know if yeah, I just don't know. But because of that, I feel that CQB is much more worth it. And oftentimes it's only it's your only choice too. You know, right now you can't get this SOPMOD, like no matter how hard you try. So I mean, it's not like as if you have a choice right now, at least at the time of this recording. I don't know when the next time the SOPMOD will be available for direct purchase, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be for a very long time from now. Yeah. I feel like I had something else to say. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, when it comes to sheer damage or sheer statistics as well, I would also go with the CQB because it has higher damage. You know, I say that the SOPMOD has even lower recoil than the M416 CQB does, but the CQB has extremely low recoil to begin with. So the SOPMOD's recoil reduction over the CQB, while it's very nice and is undoubtedly very good, I mean, it's not all that necessary. And you can still fire very well with the CQB, you know? It's no SOPMOD, but it's very close. It's as best as you can get, pretty much. Unless you've got like the Barons or the CQB Cam or something like that. I don't know. But, in any case, yeah. Damage, or the feeling that the CQB deals more damage than the SOPMOD, and the fact that it is more accessible than the SOPMOD is, make, in my opinion, the M416 CQB better than the SOPMOD. SOPMOD's still an excellent assault rifle, arguably one of the best ones in combat arms. But what good is a really overpowered gun when you can't even use it? So that's my reasoning there. So yeah. Hope you guys have enjoyed the comparison video between the M416 CQB and this M4A1 SOPMOD. I apologize if for those you M4A1 SOPMOD fanboys, but you know, you have to realize that not everyone has ready access to the M4A1 SOPMOD. You know, so yeah. In any case, thank you again, guys, for watching this video. And the next comparison video is going to be between the two giants, or the two of the giants, I should say, of the NX standard submachine guns in combat arms, the UMP45 and the P90TR. So anyways, guys, without further ado, I'll catch you guys later. You can shoot that today. Hacks! 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 Hacks!